Your earbuds connecting to your phone, your smartwatch syncing notifications, a wireless keyboard talking to your laptop. All of that happens inside what's called a personal area network, or PAN. It's the smallest type of network, usually just a few meters around your body. Bluetooth is the most common example. Think of it as a personal bubble around you where your devices can talk freely. Step outside that bubble and the connection drops instantly. This is the first layer most people ever experience without realizing it. Now we scale up. Picture your home. Your phone is on Wi-Fi. Your laptop is streaming videos. Someone is gaming in another room, and a printer is sitting in the corner waiting for a document. All of that is a local area network, or LAN. This is the network inside a home, office, or small building. At the center is usually a router, and that router isn't just giving internet, it's directing traffic. Your devices don't connect to the internet directly first. They connect to the local network, and the local network decides where data goes next. So every request from your phone is first handled locally, like a small internal sorting system. Most people never notice this layer because it works silently in the background until you leave the house. A WLAN is just a wireless LAN, in other words, Wi-Fi. Instead of cables connecting everything, devices communicate using radio signals. That's why you can move from room to room and stay connected. Kitchen, bedroom, living room, it doesn't matter. But Wi-Fi still has limits. The further you move away from the router, the weaker the connection becomes. Not because it's digital magic breaking down, but because it's still physical. Walls, distance, and interference all affected. Think of a university. Lecture halls, libraries, dorms, labs, administrative buildings spread across a large area. Each building has its own local network, but they all need to communicate. That's where a campus area network comes in. A CAN connects multiple buildings under one shared system, so a student in one building can access resources in another as if everything is part of the same network. Hospitals, universities, corporate campuses, and large facilities all use this structure. From the outside, it feels like one network, but inside, it's many smaller networks stitched together.
Now, zoom out to an entire city. A metropolitan area network, or MAN, connects networks across urban areas. Internet providers use it to link neighborhoods. Banks use it to connect branches. Government systems use it to connect offices across the city. And beneath the surface, there's real infrastructure making all of this possible. Fiber optic cables running under roads, network hubs inside buildings, connection points distributed across the city. When you send money through a banking app or upload something from your phone, it often passes through this kind of system. It doesn't feel physical, but it is. A WAN is a network that spans large distances, countries, continents, the entire globe. And at this point, you're essentially looking at the internet itself, because the internet is just a massive wide area network made of thousands of smaller networks connected. When you load a website from another country, your data doesn't instantly appear there. It travels step by step through local networks, city systems, and national infrastructure, and often through submarine fiber optic cables running across the ocean floor. More than 95% of global internet traffic travels through those underwater cables, not satellites. So when something loads instantly on your screen, it feels invisible, because we call it the internet. But it's really just layers of networks working together so smoothly you forget they exist. And when you trace it all the way down, you're not connected to one system, you're moving through many.